Okay, now that we have the front and back cut out, we have the zipper window cut out. Now what we'll do is we will make the pocket for the front of the bag. Now before we do that, one thing I want to show you is that at this point, if you wanted to do any type of embellishment on the front of your bag or the back of your bag, this would be the time to go ahead and place your marking. And just to give you an example, this is what I did on this bag here. Just a simple pattern, but the way I came up with this pattern, I basically took this large ruler and came up with my center, each corner, and then I just went and made my marks this way. So that's how I came up with this pattern. If you look at this ruler, you have this line here, you have this line coming across here, this line coming across, and this one coming this way. So you're seeing the center, corner to corner, corner to corner, top to bottom, from side to side. I mean, that's how simple this was. So what I'll do, just kind of give you an example on this one. Let's see, this ruler here is, this ruler just a little bigger, so I'm going to make it a 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to make it a 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll make it a 7 by 9. So what I would do, I would take the front of it, and the reason why that I'm doing a 7 by 9 is that I don't want to be too close to the bottom. I want to give myself at least 2 inches from the bottom, and I want to give myself at least 1 inch from the bottom of this window. So basically what I would do, I would take the pattern, turn it over, and fold it in half. That would give me my center. That would give me my center. So I know this is my center. So I'm going to get the center of the bag. I want to be at least 1 inch from the top. I want to be at least 2 inches from the bottom. Now what I'll do is I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if it's going to be 9 inches wide, I need to be 4.5 inches from the center. So what I'm doing, I'm lining up 4.5 inch on this line here. This is my center, so it'll give me 9 inches. So 9, excuse me, 9 by 7. Nine by 7. That looks a little wider. Okay, that's 4.5. That's 4.5. So this is my 9 by 7. 9 inches by 7 inches. So now what I will do is that I will find the center. And by this being 7 inches, so I need to go 3.5 inches, which will give me my center. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and a half. So this is my center right here. So my center is right at this mark. So now what I would do, I would just take a ruler, just take a larger one here. I would just take the ruler and, well, that did not give me my center. Let me do it this way. Let's see, what's going on? Oh, this is nice. Okay, I did that wrong. Okay, this is my line. So I need to get rid of this line so I don't get confused. Get rid of this line so I don't get confused. Okay, so I need to be 3.5. This is my center. So now what I'll do, I will go, there we go. I'll draw a line across here. Draw a line across here. And then I will draw a line across the center. And then I'll show you how I come up with where to place everything. Okay, now what I will do is let's say I'm going to put studs. So I'm going to, in the center, I want to put a large stud, and let's say on each corner I'm going to put a medium in each corner, and also from top to bottom I'm going to put a medium. And then let's say, also, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go to medium at each point. Here and here. Now let's say in between here, what I want to do is I want to put some small. So what I will do is maybe I'll put one here, here, So that's how I will come up with my my design on the front, which is this same design right here. That's how I came up with that. But you know, you can come up with any design you want to, and if you do it on the back, you know, you can cut out your pattern and you can trace it out, and then you can decide how you want to embellish it. Or if you just want to stitch it, you could just take your sewing machine and you can do stitching. So it's really up to you of what you do and how you design it. But this, if you're going to do any type of work on the bag itself as far as design, this is the time to do it. You can do it from the front side or the back side, but I like working from the back side because I can use a pen and don't have to worry about if I make a mistake. I don't have to worry about trying to get rid of it. So I just want to show you that before we go into making the pocket for the front of the bag. So what we're going to do, we're going to measure how wide we need for the fabric pocket to be. Now we're going to measure to where it's a little wider than the pocket itself. So the pocket itself is 12 inches. We're going to cut it out. Well, the window is 12 inches, but we're going to cut the pocket out 13 inches. So that'll give us a ½ inch on each side, so we can sew it up on the side. And once we do that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But we know now we need for our pocket to be 13 inches wide, and we need for the pocket to drop down maybe to about right here. So let's say, and we're going to cut the pocket in two pieces. We're going to have a top piece. Let's cut it at 9 1/4. I need to write this down. We're going to cut this at 9 1/4. And then we're going to cut the second part of it. It's going to be two pieces. We're going to cut it at 8 1/4. And you'll see why we're cutting one larger than the other one. 8 1/4 by 13 inches. So we need one to be 9 1/4 by 13 inches. and we need the other one to be 8 1/4 by 13 inches. We'll get those cut out. Okay, now that we have the pattern traced out, we're going to go ahead and cut it. Cut this out. Okay, now that we have the pockets cut out, I will show you. And what's going to happen is that the zipper will set. We will sew the zipper inside. We'll go ahead and sew the zipper down. And then after we sew the zipper down, and the reason why we cut one out longer than the other one is that this one will be sewn from the top. It will be sewn from the top, flipped over like this. This one will be sewn from the bottom down here, and it'll be sewn on, and then it'll flip down like this, and then we will sew the sides up. But before we do that, I'm going to serge around the pockets. You don't have to serge, and especially if you don't have a serger, don't worry about it. But I'm going to serge it just so if you do have a serger, so you can see exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. But again, if you do not have a serger, you do not have to serge the pockets. That would be our next. See, serging just gives it a finish look. See how this can start to unravel on you? Well, that's why serging can help you out a lot while you're working with fabric. Like I said, you don't have to, especially if you do not have a surgeon. And serging is very easy because basically what you're doing, you're just taking the fabric and you're lining it up with this line right here, and you don't have to raise the foot up. You just mash on the pedal and it just pulls it through. And as long as you keep your fabric lined up with this line, everything is fine. Okay, now that we have the pocket lining serged, and like I say, you don't have to do this, but we do it because we do have a serger and it gives it a finish. If you don't, and it also keeps it from unraveling while you are working with it. But you do not have to have one, and you can work without it. So what we're going to do, we have one side that is larger than the other one, and what we're going to do, we're going to install the zipper into the zipper pocket. But before we do that, we're going to mark the zipper, because we're going to cut the zipper and we're going to stitch the pocket on the back side of the zipper, on the back side of the zipper first, before we sew it into the window. So it's going to be stitched on the back side like this, because what's going to happen is that this will fold over. And the reason why we're wanting one side larger than the other one, which this is the largest side, because it's going to fold over like this. So when you open up the zipper, it will look finished. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and mark our zipper. We'll put it inside the zipper window. This is the start of the window, and this is the other end of the window where it stops. So we're going to cut the zipper. This is where the lining will go. The lining will go here. But we're going to cut the zipper maybe about 1/4 inch from where the lining stops. So just in case the zipper go past that window, you still have a margin to where you can still zip without the zipper coming apart. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut this zipper. Let me just cut it about right here. So now what I'll do, I'll cut the zipper to this first mark. And then I will cut the teeth off, and I will leave the other part of the zipper attached. So what's going to happen, this is what the zipper would look like when you insert it. It will look like this. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and sew the fabric to the zipper. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the zipper face size up. I'm going to put just a little glue. Now other people may do theirs differently. This is just how I do it. You can come up with your own way of doing it. But I'm going to put a little glue right along the edge, and then I'm going to just attach the zipper to the edge and sew it. Now when I do that, I am lining it up with the marks that I made. So when I glue it, it's going to line up with those 2 marks that I made. So what I'll do, I will get a little glue. I'm going to get a little glue, and I'm going to use the contact cement. It will hold it much better. Like I say, I'll turn the zipper face size up, and I'm going to put just a little glue Let me mark this on the front so I can see that. This is where I need to start. And this is the other end. Just so I have something to go by. And you may want to use pins, but I'm putting on just enough glue to hold it until I sew it. So basically what I'm doing, I'm taking this is the front side of the lining, and this is the back side of the lining. So I'm taking the front side of the lining and I'm just laying it on my marks. And like I say, it's just right on the edge, just enough for me to sew it. I'm going to do the other side. And like I say, some people can sew this without gluing it down, even without using pins. For me, I need to use the glue so I can just feel more secure. It's just a personal preference right now. Some people would take this and take the fabric and put it up against the zipper and sew it right on. No problem. But I have to do what works best for me. But just to show you the process. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sew this. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew the fabric onto the zipper. Like I say, I only needed just enough room on the edges. Now keep in mind, someone that works with fabric will probably put that zipper in put that pocket on a little different. They may go ahead and put the sew the zipper into the window and then sew the fabric on after that. But for me, it's a little more difficult because I don't have a zipper foot for this machine. So this is one way of me being able to do that without having a zipper foot. Okay, now that we have the zipper and the lining, the fabric lining sewn together, now we're going to install it into the zipper pocket. One thing you want to make sure, because you have one side of your pocket is, I think I made this one here 7 inches. 7 inches by 9 inches, and this one is 8 inches by 9 inches. You want to put the one that is larger, which is the 8 inch, at the top. So I will flip it over, and I'm going to have it at the top. So I'll flip over my pocket, my front of the bag, and then I would take this. First, I'm going to use some contact cement glue so I can glue the zipper in. So I'll put glue around the edges of the window. And the glue is only there to hold it long enough for me to sew it. So now we'll just take now remember, I have the larger side of the pocket at the top side because it's going to fold down. Turn this over, and then I'll make sure that my zipper is lined up. Now, one of the things I want to make sure, and that is that in my zipper window, that the zipper pull comes up flush with the end of the zipper window. So there's not a big gap right there. You'll let this dry for a minute, and then we will sew it. Okay, now that I have the zipper set inside of the zipper pocket, I'm going to sew it now, and I'm going to use an orange thread to give it some contrast. Now, this is where the zipper teeth stops, about right here. So what I'm going to do, I have to be able to sew around that when I come back to this point. So I'm going to start here so I know exactly where to line up my foot. If I set it here, I'm setting on top of the teeth. So I need to be able to line it up to where I am not setting on top of it. So when I come back around, I'm not sewing on top of that. Now when I get to this point, what I'm going to do, I'll leave the needle down inside the leather, and then I'll raise the foot and slide the zipper pull past the foot so I can sew around this. Now one of the trick is getting back to where you're lining up the foot the same distance from the top and the bottom. Now it does not have to be the same distance, because once you sew it, the eye really would not be able to detect they're not the same distance unless someone is just looking for that. So I'll turn it. I need to go at least another half stitch. So at this point, I will raise the foot, pull the zipper, pull back past my needle. Now I'm coming right back to where I started, and then this is when I will do my back stitch. Now this is what it looks like from the front. This is what it looks like from the back. So now what I will do, I will take the lining, pull it over, and then I will stitch down the side of the lining. Okay, that's your pocket. Now it have this opening here. I will go back and I would just hand stitch this here closed. But to show you what it looks like, that's your pocket. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is we will go and embellish the front of the bag that we already have marked out, because we'll go ahead and embellish it and then we start putting the bag together.